Hey, good evening, everyone. So I left off in part 3 what he was doing for a living. Pretty scandalous, isn't it? And in part 2, I left off where his ex had went back to her hometown, took the girls. Well, they'd already had custody going, proceedings. Well, once she went back home, he filed papers with an attorney to try to get the girls back. So he filed, I served her the papers. We met at a little town up off Highway 99 to do a child exchange. And I served her papers, and they ended up going to court. Well, during their court proceeding, they were throwing accusations out at each other like you would not believe. What she was doing, what he was doing, and it came down to they both had a drug test, because that's what all the accusations were. She was using, he was using, and oh my God, it was a huge mess. So there was also an FCS report done, which is a Family Court Service Report, FCS. And I was part of that report. And so I'll get to that, probably in my next video. But in the meantime, they were throwing the accusations and they both had to test through the courts. But in the meantime, Roger had every other weekend, or it was once a week. I don't remember what it was, but it may have been they week on, week off, because they weren't in school yet. Thinking that's what it was. He had him 1 week, she had him 1 week. And so she had to come to Stanislaus County for all the court proceedings, because that's where the case was filed. Now also, Roger's court case from Tulare County had been transferred, so his court case for his drug charges were now in Stanislaus County. But California has Prop 36, which you can go through their program to rehabilitate yourself. And I'll get to that probably in my next video as well. So they go through the child custody, she does her drug test, and they're ordered to test through the courts, not an outside agency. She does her test. He doesn't do his. Nope, he does not do his test. Now her test came back clean. So during the court proceedings, he didn't test. When they ended up going back to court, and because he didn't test, he ended up having supervised visits. Oh, he threw a huge fit over that one. He was so pissed off. Oh my God, his anger and his attitude was beyond belief. So she was free to go back to her hometown, and also any more court filings would have to go out of Tulare County, because there was no need for her to come back because she wasn't a resident of this county. She went back to Tulare County. So as of right now, that court case is still, he has to have supervised visits, at her discretion. So that's where that sits. And even with the lawyer we had, he fired our lawyer because he wasn't acting on it, because he had proof of all kinds of stuff that she was doing, these notebooks she had been keeping about stuff she had written. Well, it was incriminating on both sides. The lawyer didn't feel the need to it. Roger went as far as also hire a private investigator, believe it or not. Now, he paid for that. A lot of money. To get evidence of whatever it is she was doing. Come to find out, she wasn't doing anything. So he wasted money, he wasted time, and trying to prove nothing. It all just came back down on him. But guess who got blamed for it all? Me. Now, the FCS report that was done on them, I was involved with. Maybe I can't put it into this video. She interviewed me, she interviewed Carrie, she interviewed Roger, and anybody else. And I believe I have a copy of the report at home from her court case. And so when she interviewed me, I told the truth. I wasn't out to hurt anybody. I just was a part of the girls' life because Roger shoved them in my face. He threw them at me, had me pretty much be their mom, but I wasn't their mom, because when he would have the girls before they got the child custody, he would just take the girls and run pretty much and leave her hanging, leave Carrie hanging. And he pretty much had me doing a lot with the girls. And so I told the mediator that this is what he was doing. And so in the report, I was made to be a bad influence. And it's like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. I'm a mom, I have my own kids, and I'm a bad influence. It's like, that's what the mediator got. I don't know if that mediator's still with the courts, but at the beginning of my child custody case with Roger, she was still there. And it's like, we didn't get her because it would have been a conflict of interest. But it's like, I could not believe what the FCS report had said about me. It's like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. It's like, and then all the crap that Roger was throwing at me, it being my fault and blah, 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 but none of it would he ever take responsibility for. No, my fault he didn't test. It was my fault of everything. And it's like, but I still stood by him and went from there. So the next video is going to contain what happened on child visits and all of that in my next video.